So we will be discussing today, in particular, Ruby's marriage with Ruby G. Can I'll let you explain that the marriage that you want to discuss today.
Thank you. Niluji, I would like to continue the last week's debate, which was continued between myself and you and Dr. Ramona, and that was about the marriages to the Pakistani Muslim guys who come to this country, which are just foreign shopping and illegal immigrants, and how they use us and abuse us because of our British passports. And my situation is very similar to Dr. Ramona's, and I am very, very sad that today I have to disclose all this. And I was very timid, and he was very violent towards me, the husband, and he physically beat me as well, and I wasn't allowed to speak out. And before he got married to me, he never disclosed that he was legal immigrant. He was married before, had 3 children, he had hepatitis C, and his friends who masterminded it in dry cleaners, and they just said he was a very nice person and he's from your own country and he would help you much better way with your children, and but they didn't tell me anything that he needed quite a lot things to be dealt with, and medication, visa, and accommodation, and wife. Rather than a wife, he needed a carer. But I was doing my duty as a wife, obtained his passport, British passport, indefinite stay, and when we got married, he brought from the mosque, Mulaji and Maulvi, and he did the nikah with me at home. Home Office didn't accept it. They says it was not recognized. If he was to stay in the country, I would have to have a registry marriage, and which I did, registry marriage, to save his deportation.
Okay, Ruby G, so thank you for the details, and it must be very painful for you to discuss these details. And you did brief me on it, that you said that at the time of the wedding you were not aware that he was already at the time married. He wasn't divorced, was he, from
No.
that wife in Pakistan?
No.
And the 3 children, and then his intention was that he would marry you to get the stay, and then he would bring his wife and 3 kids over. Is that right?
Yes.
And how did that? How is it possible then that he was married to you, whilst he was married to this other lady in Pakistan, and the 3 children could still come to this country? How did the embassies in this country and in Pakistan allow this bigamy to be overlooked?
Well, you see, in 99 September, as I said, dark month, he violently had beaten me up and split open my head, and I had a 3-month-old baby and a toddler, and one was special needs child, and so that meant there's evident divorce will happen, and domestic police be called, and he would get a separation, and divorce he already had indefinite. So he used that opportunity to bring it around, and I did get the divorce, which he did not agree in the English courts, and then I helped him to open up a business, and he used that business to bring his first wife, and now she has indefinite. She's a director of the shop, and she's in this country for the last 10 years. He has not morally or practically, financially supported my 2 sons. So is that what you call as care of duty? As a father, he has failed.
Okay, so I want to go back a few steps now. I wanted to know how was it that he would have applied to stay in this country as your husband without disclosing that he has a wife in Pakistan and 3 kids and already currently married. So all the time that he was married to you, he was also married in Pakistan to the wife and responsible for the 3 children.
Yes.
So when you thought you were having a family with him, you were not aware that there was already his other wife and the 3 kids on the table.
Indeed.
Right. So then how, if he's applying as your husband in this country, so that application to stay in this country, he would have been required to disclose his.
Well, he
wife.
said in the Marriage Bureau, Marriage Registry Office in Harrow, he said that he was not married before. So, I later, much later, this was this mastermind and scheme to how it to be used and how most of the men do this. And it's time that these issues were addressed in the policymakers and take actions for those who commit bigamies. Because I was a victim from a child, my life has never gone right, and people have come, adults, and they have used me and abused me.
Okay, so an application on the basis of marrying you, that he's never been married before, I wonder what the legal status of that is. I mean, we would have to take advice from some lawyers about the bigamy and that application, you know, prove, what would that prove as evidence of the bigamy. So that would be a process that you will follow, but through the Ruby Rescue Centre, you've come across similar cases, haven't you, Ruby G?
Yes, thousands of them.
Right, so do you know of any successful cases whereby the wife has prosecuted the husband for bigamy?
No, because wives are mostly, they're not supported by the Sharia council courts, they're not supported by the communities or families to do such thing. It's a big taboo in our cultures from the Middle East that we cannot seek any kind of support or help to bring those to just get justice.
Okay, so we've been discussing the inequalities, the discrimination against women in this country, the United Kingdom, which is supposed to have the very fair laws, and equality laws, so that you're not discriminated against on grounds of your gender. But the Asian community is suffering badly, especially the women, whereby men are, it is not, I think we had one of our early callers saying that it's not shameful for a man to be divorced, but it's very shameful for a woman to be divorced. And then we discussed at the last program that the process of the triple talaak, whereby a man has the power to say 3 words, and that is and he's allowed to do that once a month for 3 months, and that's final, and the woman can do nothing about it, or it is a man's opinion of a woman's behavior that is valid for divorce, not the woman's opinion about a man's behavior. There's no process whereby a woman can complain either physical abuse, mental torture, so we are wanting to bring up some of these issues so that women can feel at peace in their homes, in their marriages, with their families, their children, their husbands. So we would want to invite husbands to call in and give us some of their viewpoint on these topics that we've discussed. We're not excluding anybody from this program. We have attempted to contact some of the Sharia councils in the UK to find out you know, how they're allowing women to seek divorce on the grounds of the misbehaviour of the man. And I've gone through some of the application forms for divorce, and they are they seem to be only for a man, and a man can give the authority to a woman for her to do a divorce, but not the other way around. That the woman cannot deny a man the opportunity to divorce her by saying the 3 words. So coming back to what you've just said, Ruby G, now your point about you know, this injustice that you've suffered, I believe that you must have sought some kind of remedy. You must have gone to some place and said, this is wrong, I've been wronged, you know, this is not right, this should not happen to other people. So what efforts did you make?
Well, Niluji, first of all, I had discussed it with my own father at home, and my father and myself, we formed up the Sharia Council in East London, and the council in Sharia said that they would not willing to give me a talaak because the husband they've contacted and he refuses to give her the talaak, and so we have to wait on the husband's side. So my father said to them that husband's divorced in the English courts, and my daughter should have the Islamic, where she was forced to be married in Islamic law, and she is not getting the justice. And they said we have to leave it like that, we have to pay a fee to get all this information, but at the end of it, it was all absolutely waste of time.
Just out of interest, how much money did you pay for the mullah to come to your house, and for the when you wanted the triple talaq, how much total was the money exchange?
The fee, I think they asked around about £150, something like that, and that which was enclosed to pay them to investigate about this marriage, Islamic marriage, which took place in '97, and they said it had, husband has not replied to anything, and so it's up to the man, husband, to make that decision whether he wants to give a woman talaq or not. Once he hasn't, then they cannot do that, they are handicapped.
Okay, we have a live caller. Welcome to Be Brave. You're live on air. What would you like to say? Hello, welcome to Be Brave. You're live. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I want to say that I want to talk to this presenter. You know, whatever she is saying in a Muslim way, like you got no right, nothing like this. You don't know nothing. You know, you should read before everything. Then you need to present and to say, you know, something.
Okay, what do you want to actually say about what?
I mean, you said in Muslim ways there is everything is from men and there's no right from women.
Okay.
And
are we talking about the Sharia law?
I mean, the woman's got a lot of rights. You know, you should know first. Then you see. Then you need to say on the TV. You know. Okay. I think you are not aware. You don't know nothing about.
Would you like to tell us?
And you just keep saying, and you just keep talking again. Whatever the woman, she's always sitting with you. Whatever she's happened with her, and you see again and again saying, okay, it's happened in Pakistan. There's a lot of people from India, Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka, from everywhere. They just got, there's a lot of story. Why you're mentioning like Pakistan name again and again? And you keep mentioning Muslims and Muslims and Muslims. Did you know like there is an Indian, there is a Sikhs, and there's everywhere? There is a law in those people? Is there law? Muslims got the best law for the women, you know. No other religious got law for women. The law the Muslims got, you know. Whatever you and your guest is saying, everything is lie. It's nothing right.
Okay, well, do elaborate on what you. Okay, the caller has gone. I was hoping to elaborate on what he said. We're not here to say, we've said many times on this program that the problems of domestic violence are not only in any particular religion. It is a certain kind of conduct that a man is having towards a woman or a child, or a woman is having towards a man and a child. We haven't said it's always men, and we haven't said that it's just Muslims. I don't know that the caller has been watching our programs apart from today on that particular point, where we have dealing with it from a woman's perspective, that the women, every man recognizes that a woman is always the person that is the giving person in the family. She always puts herself last. She'll put her children first, and that's the nature of a woman. And we're trying to get the appreciation for the woman, for the role that she plays as a wife and a mother. We've had a caller who said she was abused for 26 years because every time she had contact with her parents or her family, she was beaten. I myself, I had a telephone one way. I'm talking about a Hindu marriage, so I can, and I'm also, I have a member in the family who's undergoing the foreign shopping for the passport as well, who's also a Hindu person who's come from India. So we're not here to talk against any particular religion, but Rubiji has the experience of being married in the Islamic religion, and that's why we're discussing that topic today. Last week we had Dr. Ramona, who was talking about her Islamic marriage in which she was given a kinaya talaak, just for she was not allowed to tell her friends that she was married. She was not allowed to have contact with her family and friends. So, well, I'm very grateful for the caller to make that point, and want to encourage all callers to contribute to the program, because obviously there are tensions in the topic. It's not a pleasant topic, but at the same time we have a lot of pain amongst the women of all religions, and children are suffering because they don't like to see their parents fighting. And so, Rubiji is talking about the fact that, as Dr. Ramonaji said, that she had been threatened with this kinaya talaak, and it depends on whether the man meant what he said from his heart. And then we have the question about Sharia law, about a man being able to say 3 words, but a woman cannot do that. So in this country they have equality, they have women's rights to be equal, and so we're discussing this topic, and it's a healthy debate. Okay, we have a live caller. Hello, you're live on Be Brave. What would you like to say?
Yes, I'd like to say that where there is evidence of abuse of marriage to obtain right of stay, either the person being married back home with a family or to obtain financial gain, I think that the authorities should do more to recognise this, especially where there is evidence. The marriage should dissolve immediately, and the right of stay should be revoked, irrespective of what religion the spouse is from. I do recognise that to be a widespread problem. I do not agree with the previous caller, who may not have been following all the episodes. You have said time and time again that it is cross-cultural and it affects all religions. So where there is abuse, the authorities should do more to assist the victims in identifying the problem. I don't think one needs to go to court when this is recognised. one should go back to the issuing office and get the right of stay vote revoked.
Okay, thank you for your call. So the caller is saying that the authorities should do more to revoke marriages or the rights of stay immediately without having to go through the court process, and so that the pain is kept to the minimum when this is found out. There should be an immediate remedy available to either party so that they can, so that there is no dishonor, so that any marriage based on lies and deception is null and void there and then, and from there on, and any rights of stay or any passports, British passports, visas obtained on the perjury. If someone's married and they write that they've never been married before, then that constitutes perjury, and that is a prisonable offence in any religion. So if a man has stated on a marriage application in the registry office that he is single when he's married, currently married, not divorced, and with the intention of bringing the wife and children over, then that constitutes a criminal offence which is prisonable. So Ruby G, would you like to add to the two callers?
Yes, please. I'll go back to the first caller. And first caller needs to listen very carefully and follow the programs weekly. And I have two siblings who have suffered, likewise myself, with this foreign shopping. And in their cases, there were Sikhs, Hindus who were in Austria, and they were an illegal immigrant, and they used my sibling, two sisters, just for the visa, and they're divorced now. But I made sure they would not get the Austrian citizenship. Both of the husbands, ex-husbands, Sikhs, do not qualify for Austrian citizenship, and I have closed all doors for them. And for my own husband, I had a pity on him, because his father and mother, he was feeding mother and father and 3 children back home. I can speak Urdu, Punjabi, and I have compassion and empathy and sympathy. He was Pakistani, literate, Pendu, and uneducated. So I put up with quite a lot to accommodate him in this country so he could bring his first wife over, which I was not told. So I do know about Islamic laws very well because I was married.
And Ruby G, you're not yourself Islamic?
No, I am not Muslim myself, but I did marry a Muslim person. And we did not have any conflict in this. We didn't have any conflict in this. So he did the nikah and the Home Office did not accept it. Why? Because Islamic marriage is not accepted in UK. So I have children from that marriage, and now I have not got any moral, practical support, financial support, but yet his other 3 children and wife are getting all the support from his parents. What kind of justice do you call this?
Okay, I think the caller maybe thought that we were just saying that the problem is Islamic, but it's not. It's with every faith. Okay, so we agree with that.
Faiths.
We agree with that.
I agree with absolutely. It happens in worldwide, globally, with different religions.
So we're really saying that the way that women are treated in society,
yes,
and by the religions and the cultures is it's always the first caller we had, she said that her mother said that even if her husband beat her to death, that was better than her going back to her parents. Do you remember that call?
Yes, well, you see, I have a case, very close friend, and she herself is individual Sikh, but her daughter is married to a Muslim, and her community, her family has disowned her because this is mother's fault. No, it is not mother's fault. It's a society's fault. It is family's fault. They have failed to support her, the mother. with 3 children. So we need to look at broadly onto all this mess always falls back on a woman.
Yes, and Ruby G, you're going to give feedback on the second caller.
Second caller is a victim herself, and individual was married to Hindu and who came for foreign shopping in this country, and now getting divorced. He is looking lot of things, properties from her, and having just sources all onto his name.
Yes, so like we were going to discuss some other topics as well, Ruby G, today. Your Ruby Rescue Centre is not just for any particular faith, it's for all faiths, is that right?
Ruby Rescue Centre accommodates all victims. Faith has no connection into it. Church has no connection into it. Government has no connection into it. So victims, raped child brides, their tears, their pain, Ruby Rescue wipes them out without looking for rewards.
Yes, so we here on Be Brave are looking at the policies that allow these inequalities against women and the pain that then leads to domestic violence. Now, Ruby G was saying that her husband beat her so badly so that she would go to the authorities and complain about him so that he could have the divorce that he had premeditated so that he could bring his wife and 3 children over. Is that right, Ruby G?
Yes, this was the case, and that case did happen, and the wife is here in this country.
So in a way, the system allows a man to really play the system to his own needs, to a predetermination, and that is what we're discussing, is that the system whereby there are lies told by a man and perjury committed on paper that he's single when he's married, and then he fakes this violence so that the second wife would go to the authorities and report him, and she would get the divorce on those grounds of his violence, and then so he can bring his first wife and his children over. So this is a kind of trends that we here on Ruby Rescue Centre and Be Brave. We are trying to get to the bottom of this, to stop this pain, this misery in every home, whereby these policies, the cultural, religious and legal policies are allowing this to be okay and causing all this pain to many, many women all around the planet. And children as well. Ruby G has touched on many times on this program about how she was trafficked as a child from Pakistan into this country by a white Englishman, and how the Irish embassy in India had given him a fake passport for her as an adult when she was 12. And despite her telling the airports at Pakistan and Heathrow that she was 12, they did not want to know. They didn't listen to her. And, you know, the authorities are there to look at passports if they're genuine or not. And if somebody is saying my passport is fake because it's a child, she's being trafficked by a paedophile, then something wasn't done about it. So that is serious failing by the authorities, the airport authorities. And this was in 1978. And is it still going on, Ruby G?
Well, Neely G, things have come to a very climax, and early next year we have to confirm the venue and the date. Chief Justice of Northern Ireland is going to hear my testimony in the conference coming up and reopening my case, and policies implanted onto trafficking marriage which took place. And my case is going to be reopened. The Ruby Rescue Centre is going to work with collaboration with Compassion for Pakistan and India. Chief Justice worldwide Chief Justice of the country globally will be invited, and 2 Chief Justice, First Minister of the Northern Ireland, who has confirmed that he will be hearing Ruby Rescue Centre and giving the testimony for 20 minutes, and then he will include the authorities to take platforms. So this has, every caller should watch out. Early next year the conference is going to take place in Belfast.
Yes, Ruby, this is now one of these breakthroughs you've had with some contacts of yours near to where you were abused as a child.
Well, it was, Niluji, it was like this. 12 years of age, I was taken to rural area in Bangor, County Down, Northern Ireland. So therefore, my early childhood grew up at the college, university, and 20 years in Belfast. So I call that as my home town. And now Chief Justice and Compassion for Pakistan tirelessly working for me to come back next year and open a rescue centre in Belfast.
Yeah, so there's going to be a conference early next year, in the first 3 months of next year, and Ruby G is hoping to be registered as a charity, the Ruby Rescue Centre, and this will be to empower the women, children, men to have happy, successful marriages based on love and truth and honesty rather than fear. So we are here for humanity, for everybody. We are volunteers, we're not paid, we take time out of our lives to make this effort, to give our time and the expenses to come here. And Ruby G is an excellent contributor on this program, and she is the only contributor on the program. We have invited any woman to come here who's a victim, be a guest, be a host, or call in, and there is just so much fear of repercussions. Women are terrified of their husbands finding out, their husbands' families finding out, even the religious organizations finding out just through shame. And we are giving this platform so that the men who are abusers, who have a habit of doing this marriage after marriage after marriage, causing a lot of misery to a lot of women and children, that they can think again and change their lifestyle for a better lifestyle, so that they're not doing that. So Ruby G, would you like to add to any of the points?
Well, Niluji, it is a very, very difficult and very cute cases that is a caller?
Sorry, yes, there is a live caller. Hello, welcome to Be Brave. What would you like to say?
Yes, I'd like to say that the family unit is part of a bigger family, and one of the reasons for the stresses on the family unit could be the authorities that are influencing the families on a daily basis, so the stresses caused by them. For example, parking fines, council tax, income tax, car insurance, parking meters, etc. All these factors play on the minds of the family, especially when the fines exceed one's income. Unless the authorities back off and recognise that the family unit should be preserved, and unless they release these taxes and fines, the family cannot be a happy family. It is not necessarily the family members that are causing the family problems. It is the authorities, and we have no control. I mean, tomorrow there'll be another fine And their times are just increasing. This is why I do not vote.
Thank you for your call. Thank you. I get the point that there is an element of stress from the financial side of people's lives. So, Ruby G, what would you like to say to that?
Well, the caller, she individual expresses her own opinions and her feelings and impact that she had in her life, and I welcome everything she says and I take it on board. But same time, let us go back to the first caller, the male who came in, and he was very abrupt and he did not do his homework. I watched the programs, but yet he could make sweeping statements. And therefore, I feel Ruby Rescue Centre that I walk extra mile each week coming here to support the charity HIVA and Ruby Rescue Centre and TV99 for the extra mile that I walk for victims. My busy schedule looking after my 2 sons and having illness myself, using my own resources to fund myself in the petrol in the car, making effort, energy here. What to hear? Victims who I save lives, who I hear, they have testimonies and life has become better. So this is what I do, this is my reward.
Yes, I don't think that he meant it personally. I mean, I think that he just felt that we were just talking about Islam. Today's topic is about Islam. Next time we will talk about the same problems in a different religion. So the topic is the same, the point is the same. So let's not dwell too much on that first caller. So I think we're going to have a short break and we'll be right back. Be Brave. I'm Neela Chowdhury with Ruby Akhtar of HIVA, Heathrow Education Welfare Association, sponsors for TV99. And we do welcome your also donations here. If you call the number and make donations, if you like the program and come as volunteers and also advertise on this channel. It's privately funded for the community's benefit. And we are going to finally just say a few words, and we'll be back here at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So I hope you will join us with your thoughts and feedback on the program. And Ruby G, finally you would like to say something?
Yes, I would like to say, if my son is watching, the youngest one, Josh, and thank you for buying me TV. Out of all my children, this was a very thoughtful, that mother would have a TV, and thank you, and I'm very proud of you today, and to say well done, and drug and alcohol, the letter you received today, and they discharge you because you're very focused and very much eager to do it yourself. And my hat's off to you, son. Love you.
जी, तो फिर हमारा ये प्रोग्राम जो है हम लेडीज़ के लिए और फैमिलीज़ के लिए, बच्चों के लिए, पीस के लिए हम ये डिस्कशंस करते हैं डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस की और चाइल्ड अब्यूज़ की, जो बच्चों की एजुकेशन है। तो इसलिए हम आपसे क्षमा मांगते हैं अगर हमसे कोई गलती होगी। तो फिर जल्दी मिलेंगे। ओके, बाय।
अब आप एवरी मंडे 7 to 8 इमिग्रेशन लॉ के मतलब एक शो देख सकते हैं। अगर आपका इमिग्रेशन का कोई भी मसला है, आप इस शो में कॉल कीजिए। हम पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि आपके मसले का हल निकाल सकें। सो एवरी मंडे 7 to 8 इमिग्रेशन लॉ विद तारिक, ओनली ऑन TV99।